man, the Blurg made an appearance.
Yeah, that's right.
Great.
Thank you for that, Blurg, man.
That Ventress shot was great.
I know. I was thinking
really
the same
good.
thing.
Thank you.
My kid broke my Genevex this morning, so
there's a lot in the shop, so don't worry about it.
If only it wasn't so hard to find, I would,
Right, I know. You need to get a new one now.
I guess I'll have to spend months trying to track down another Genevex.
I know. You know what's really funny? I've thought about for the Genevex for so many weeks now is like I hear all these stories from collectors of Action Fleet where they're like, "Oh man, you remember when the TIE Defender was like $5 or whatever?" Like, no, I don't.
Thank you. Thank you, Jersey.
But but at some point somebody's going to go, "Man, we really want to get that Genevex." And we're like, "Yeah, it's been on the shelves for like over a year." So great entry there, Mauricio. Thanks for doing that. So welcome everybody
so you're saying I should hoard them all?
Yeah, for sure.
Buy them all and hoard them?
Yep. When they were $4.99, I grabbed a couple. So welcome everybody in for number 117. We're going to chat through just a ton of stuff here tonight. So buckle up as we get rolling. Cole, have you watched Bad Batch yet?
I have, yes.
Okay, don't spoil it, please. I haven't seen it yet.
Spoiler: it ends. It's over.
I've heard that it ends, so that's kind of a bummer because I really like those characters. Their whole arc through the last part of Clone Wars into the very beginning of Bad Batch, like season 1 and 2, was really cool. So, I'm excited to see how they roll it. So anyways, what else do we have to talk about before we get into like all of the juicy stuff that everybody wants to hear about? Hot Toys came out with a bunch of stuff that you could pay for like 2 years in advance.
Yeah, lots of reveals from other companies this week too. Yeah,
gosh, man, the Black Series stuff, those 2-packs are really cool, man. The 2-packs and 3-packs. I love that you get a Yoda head. You get 2 Yoda heads in that one.
I'm curious what the like business incentive is for them to have started doing these 2-packs.
Yeah, I'm sure
they came kind of out of nowhere, so I don't know.
Yeah.
There's definitely some kind of financial, influence behind those. Those seem to be pretty common now. I'm glad I skipped the Super Battle Droid and the other 2-pack with the Super Battle Droid. I think it had like the B1 with the 3PO head.
Oh yeah.
Very glad I skipped that because now you can get the Super Battle Droid by himself and he looks even better. Yeah, a little bittersweet with those reveals because they're great, but I think I have 4 out of the 6 of them in figure arts already.
Gotcha.
So it was even Yoda in the chair, like
really
they have that. So within the last month or two, I think they just re-released that Kenobi, Qui-Gon, and the Maul in the last 2 months. So
you're talking about for figure arts?
Gotcha. Yeah. So a lot of the reveal, I'm like, oh, that's cool, but I just bought those and paid a whole lot more. Yeah,
no, exactly. That's where I'm kind of like, I hope these things are a little more reasonable from a cost perspective to be able to pick them up.
Sidious looks great. Love Sidious.
Oh my gosh.
That'll
really good.
That's going on the prequel shelf for sure.
Yep. Yeah, no, some good
ones. Hot Toys are awesome, but none of those don't really think I have a place for any of those necessarily.
Yeah, I definitely don't have a place for them, as you can see behind me. They do look really amazing.
The Dark Empire Luke.
Yeah.
That was wild.
I know.
They're doing stuff that the cheap figures aren't even doing, which is crazy.
Yeah. I think it's interesting, as you and I were chatting earlier today, the time frame on that really stinks. Like, you got to wait a year or so to be able to get those, which is crazy.
Yeah, at least for a lot of them. They're stretching into 2026 now, I believe.
Wow, that's wild.
It is crazy, and that's a lot of money to have tied up.
Yeah, right.
a year and a half or something like that. I already have a problem with the HasLabs. They've got your money for a long time before you see anything.
Do they
Dave,
take it all up front?
The cantina is not confirmed, but that is the prevailing theory.
When you do
I
those,
still think there's a little chance it could be Death Star, the start of several Death Star HasLabs that are modular.
That'd be pretty cool.
It would be cool. Steve has mentioned story stuff several times and storytelling and things like that. So who knows? It could be the cantina. That would make a lot of sense. People want that. People also really want the Death Star. So we'll see.
What do you mean the Death Star? They'll just do like a scene, basically?
I think a lot of people are asking for, assuming, whatever, that the way they implement that would be, whether it's multiple HasLabs or however they decide to do it, you basically have modular dioramas that connect together that you could either pass on or buy all of them, whatever, but they would start to build down a Death Star, and you could have like a hangar bay or the detention block, the trash compactor, multiple hallways,
Interesting.
The shield generator, all kinds of classic scenes that
where the heck is everybody going to put
connect together, to make a larger half of your room.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's like.
I mean, I don't know. I'm in a weird spot with TVC. I don't know. I'm still buying it, most of it, I guess, but I'm not displaying it. I don't know that. I just get them and they go right into a box with all the other ones. So,
right.
I don't know.
Well, the good thing about Micro Galaxy Squadron is it is small enough that you can actually put a lot more stuff. You can keep collecting it, which is great. So why don't we go ahead and just dive into our roundup of all the series. So starting with Series 1, there has been I guess maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, some Series 1 stuff popped back up in some Walmarts. And those are still kind of sitting there. There's a few of them I've seen in some of the Walmarts in my area that have had Series 1 Starfighter class. Really no light armor class stuff has popped up. I have seen still at some of those grocery stores that carry it, they do still have some Series 1 Scout class and light armor and Starfighter that are still sitting on the shelves there. Saw some Arvala 7s on clearance at a Walmart, but pretty much everything has been moved out. Troop transports are getting clearance like crazy. So
I haven't seen any of that in a while for some reason. I don't know if they shipped them all to specific Walmarts to get rid of them or what, but haven't seen Slave 1s in forever. Maybe the occasional troop transport, but Razor Crests and Slave 1s, it's been quite a while since I've seen them.
Yeah, there's still a few troop transports that I've seen that probably were, well, I know for sure there's a couple of them that were damaged. The box is damaged, and I guess they weren't on the shelves when they went through to do the clearance tags, so I've seen those sitting around. Awesome. But that's pretty much it. And then you've got Walmart was selling the evasive action battle pack as well, maybe a week or so ago. That was at like $12.50. Have you seen if that's still up?
What a great price. I don't know. I thought it had sold out.
Okay, yeah, it's possible that it's sold out.
I might check and just see. Man, if anybody didn't bite on that, I mean, I think at $12, it's worth it just for the stand.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, my only problem with the stand, I was going to get another one for it because of the stand. The only problem with it is the height. You can't really adjust the height of it, so there's only one place I can put that, which is really like on the top of my bookshelves.
Yeah, you've got some very thin shelves there.
Yes, for sure.
It's back to $43, so.
Okay, so they must have gotten rid of all of that.
Yeah.
Okay. So then if we go on to Series 2, Series 2 is pretty much out of there. The best place, I've seen a lot of people asking for trades for Obi-Wan and Anakin. If you have not gone on and tried getting some of those light armor class bundles through Amazon, you need to do that first before you start going through trades, because I mean, they are out there. I've seen tons of people here that have pulled the trigger on that recently and gotten one or both of those. So, and if you're still looking for Obi-Wan on his General Kenobi on his BARC speeder, go in there and get 3 of the battle damaged TIE fighters, and if you don't get it, return them. So
yeah, that's what I've been suggesting people do.
Yeah,
or move to Mexico, and they have tons of Series 2 apparently.
They have been getting some Series 2 for sure. I've seen
Hera's, everything.
Lots of reports of that as well. GameStop.
We need to talk to the cartel down there. Tell them to start smuggling in Series 2.
Yeah,
hey, forget whatever you've been doing. We need Sabines up here.
I know. Probably make just as much money off of that.
It's so difficult to try to find. Every time I go to a Walmart or GameStop, it's really they fly away. Yeah, sure, fly away. Yeah,
brutal.
Well, difficult.
Yeah,
We're still working on it.
All right, keep fighting the good fight there, Mauricio.
That's right.
So we've got the other stuff with Series 2. So the Snowspeeder, the Gauntlet, those have been seen still again at those grocery stores. Django's not really around anymore. Marauder, LAAT. Those are kind of all out. Yep, GameStop does have some of those as well if you're looking for anything Series 2. Galactic Army of the Republic Battle Pack that's at Target was clearance last week. It's probably still on clearance right now. Still, I think it wasn't discounted that much. I want to say it was like $18 or $17.99 or something.
Yeah, was it like Myers or Fred Meyer? Which one was it? You talking about that? Either one of them marks the regular. The sticker price is so high that they put them on sale, and it's $1 or $2 below what everyone else already paid for them. So it's kind of wild. Yeah.
So then Series 3 Scout class is basically found in the Amazon bundles or on Jazzwares Vault. You can still get that Scout class thing if you're looking for any of those.
Some GameStops.
Yep, that's what I was going to say, the GameStops. And then light armor class for Series 3, basically the Vault stuff is just going nuts on eBay. So that light armor class collection has been going. Yep, I know. I've got mine right here.
I'm sure we'll get to that later.
Yep, for sure. But yeah, it's been popping up on eBay. Actually, pretty reasonable prices, to be honest. I would have thought they would be significantly higher on eBay, looking for the whole box set.
And still pretty easily attainable on Amazon, right? Like most of these.
Oh, the common vehicles?
On Series 3, yeah. Series 3
yeah.
all over Amazon. And
for sure. The common vehicles, the First Order TIE Fighter for sure has been discounted down to as low as $11 for that bundle. And I would imagine it will still get discounted again. Obi-Wan's Jedi Interceptor and Anakin's Jedi Interceptor have both been discounted down to like $16.99 or lower. So
I have so many.
Yeah, I know. It's like it's
so bad.
Especially with the Battle of Coruscant pack when that went on clearance for $15. I got like 4 or 5 of those.
I have so many.
Yeah,
I bought a ton of them because they were the first way to get the blind boxes, were those bundles.
Oh yeah.
So I just bought, I remember that 16 of those things just for the blind boxes.
Yeah.
With every intention to either sell or return or do something with them, and never happened. And now they're, nice. I don't even know where they are.
The interceptors are great. I love the actual vehicle itself. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, they're great. But now it's like they're worth even less, because now we have several versions now with the updated droid deco. So
yeah,
man, yeah,
yep, yeah. I did a review of the ones that came in. I did a review of the actual Series 3 Vault collection. So that will be up here probably tomorrow. I've got it up on my computer over here on the floor, so I've got to go through and edit it and everything, and I'll put it up so everybody can see it.
Can't wait to read those super encouraging and positive YouTube comments on that.
Yeah, video. So I actually have like a big, somewhat disclaimer that it actually went. I didn't even realize how long I was talking as I went through, but it's about 9 minutes where I talk about all of the things that went wrong, and don't blow up the comments with a bunch of negativity. Send that to Jazzware, so that way it just doesn't continue to blow up. But I'm sure I'll get a bunch of comments, so no big deal.
Less than I did.
Yeah, right. I'm sure. So then we've got Starfighter class Series 3. So I've seen some of that actually popping up in Targets. For some reason they pulled out a box of
existing stock that they had. Yeah, they're trying to push out the new stuff, and that means they're pushing out the old stuff.
Right, which has been great to see that there's actually some stuff. Somebody found an Antok that I guess was sitting somewhere back there in the back, and they found it. And so, yeah, I think we may see just a few more of those trickle out there. I'm sure that next month we're going to get the Starfighter class Vault exclusive collection. I would say I feel pretty confident with that will be coming.
You've had everything, correct, in these boxes?
Yeah.
Will you double dip on that one as well?
I'll probably just get one of them.
Okay.
Depending,
it might be the first one that I skip.
Yeah, I'm
just at $80, $60, whatever, every single month.
Yeah, it depends on what they do.
I think I need to be slightly more selective, especially when I already own everything that's in the pack, and I guess to potentially just leave more for other people if I don't need it. But
yeah,
I might skip this one. I don't think I need to. I don't think I need two pose.
Yeah, I've already got probably 3 or 4 of them sitting around here somewhere. But yeah, I would say I may just get it just to have that one. But it depends on the price. I mean, if it's $100, man, that's hard to justify $100 for that set.
Yeah, at least. Yeah, $100 probably.
That's what
that's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna. I've got it all. I'm sure the packaging will be amazing, but for $100 to rebuy everything.
Yeah,
I'll probably pass on this one.
Might just wait and see whether or not somebody has the box that they're just going to sell the box itself. Be like, I'll just buy the box for $25.
And again, at some point, these things, I'm like trying to get rid of boxes, and it's that I'm just adding massive boxes every month now.
I know the fact that this thing is, and so this was the one thing that was disappointing about this light armor class one, is that the box is so tall that I can't even put it anywhere. I can't put it on top of my shelves, so I'd have to display it sitting like this, which is like, I just don't know. Like,
and the problem is for it to really be worth displaying, it needs to be propped open with the lid up where you can see the art, all the ships in there. And how are you going to display more than a couple of those like that,
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think it'll be interesting to see what they do. We'll talk Vault here a little more in a minute. Let's keep ripping through this. So we've got the other Starship class stuff for Series 3, Inquisitor, Munilus 10. Those can be found on Amazon. Boonta Eve is basically gone out of Walmart's. That was clearanced out. I haven't seen any of those around. Then we've got Series 4. So Series 4, the Scout class is at GameStop typically, or the light armor class bundles. So the best places to find that. If you're looking for any of the light armor class, the common vehicles, the A-Wing, Vulture, and TIE Interceptor, again, Amazon is going to be your best bet. Although there were some that rolled out a few weeks ago with some Series 4 light armor class. I'm really interested to see what happens with this big Walmart reset that they've done, because they've added so many extra pegs for light armor
products for a lot of them, probably, right?
Yeah, 100%. So there's maybe 2 Walmarts near me that have a ton of Genevex.
Yeah,
but there's a ton of open pegs. So I wonder whether or not we'll see.
I've yet to come across one that's done the reset. I'm not sure when that was. I'm not sure when specifically that's supposed to happen, but I have not seen one that's actually done the reset yet.
All of the ones in my area have done the full reset. They've got the new tags up and everything, but the shelves are completely empty. So it's like and it's not just Star Wars. I mean, it's everything. So they've got everything up there ready to go. I would have thought that they would have a bunch of the Star Wars stuff out here for this weekend, but they really don't.
They don't care. They don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
but
people stocking those shelves, 1 in 10 probably has any clue.
For sure. And so light armor class, we saw some Series 4 drop, and the Royal TIE Interceptor was in there with a couple of A-Wings and TIE Interceptors. That was the original case pack that really went out, I think, most places. Probably not everybody got it, but most places got it. So that I'm hopeful that the other portion of the Series 4 light armor class, as well as the Series 4 Starfighter class, will start to show up because they have so many more pegs. So
I don't know. Series 5 is already hitting.
Certainly with Series 5 out there right now.
It definitely doesn't make me optimistic that it's coming with it, that Series 5 is hitting now instead of that second half of the case. The split case assortment in theory was a great idea.
Yeah.
But the fact that the second assortment is totally getting passed over is a disaster.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens and where those go. Now, obviously, some international is getting it. So we've seen Bigs pop up in Mexico. Also seen it pop up in Canada. I think somebody found one up in Canada. So maybe they're going international, kind of like we saw with Series 3, if you remember that, where all of a sudden everything started popping up internationally. Grievous and Poe was there. And then next thing you know, a month and a half, 2 months later, the U.S. gets flooded with all of it. So who knows? Certainly with Series 6 actually starting to get pre-ordered up in Canada with the Phantom. That's another one that's kind of like, I don't know if we're going to see Series 4 or not. But again, with them pushing out some 2 and 3 to fill the shelves as stuff that's just stuck in the back, it'd be interesting to see whether or not some of the Series 4 stuff comes out. Yeah, I would agree. The land speeder, I think the land speeder is like a double-edged sword for me. It's like, I really don't care at all about the land speeder. I mean, I've got so many of the Action Fleet ones. It's just a land speeder. It doesn't really do anything cool. So
you might be in the minority on that one.
I know. I am 100% in the minority. I'm sure of that. But yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see what happens with that and where it lands. Certainly, if they only do it as a 1,500 set through Vault, that's just a kick right in the balls. Nobody is going to like that.
It's going to be a bloodbath.
Oh my gosh, for sure.
Regardless, I don't think so. That's July, I believe.
Yeah,
would be the light. So you're looking at the land speeder in July, and August would be Bigs. Those would potentially be like legitimate. Now, what could, I mean, since a lot of those didn't hit pegs, if I were in charge of things over there and knew that this distribution debacle had kind of happened with Series 4, I would probably up that limit to 3,000.
Yeah, I don't know why. Why would you not? I mean,
so I don't know if that gets you into trouble with the rares, but I don't even think the rares have made their full production run probably.
No,
because I didn't,
no way.
Shelves weren't flooded with Series 4.
Yeah, I mean, you got
it was, I feel like stores got a
Wedge.
few cases,
Right.
but they certainly weren't flooded. I feel like I've already seen as much Series 5 on shelves as I did Series 4. So if I'm making the moves over there, I would say, hey, let's get these things out.
Right.
And let's do this run of 1 of 3,000 for the light armor and the starfighter class. And then at least you're getting as much of that product as you can into the people who really want it, hopefully, and not, bots or sneaker guys or whatever else is happening there. But, at least it's a move in the right direction to get 3,000 of those out.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I would say just do that for all of them, but I don't understand why that's such a problem to do it that way. You already have
maybe some kind of agreement with retail. Who knows what happens behind the closed doors, but
yeah. Well, I'm just saying in general with them, like it doesn't make any sense to go through and only produce 5,000 of them. You have to set the tools up to be able to make all of the stuff anyways.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what's your ROI on that? It can't possibly be that high to run 5,000 of them. I mean, you've got to spend all of the production time to go through and do that. You got to create the packaging. You've got to create the figure, the extra figure. You got to do the paint setup, all of that. And then, to only do 5,000 seems like a waste.
I did notice this time that the Halo packs did not have a number on them. They may have been numbered, but at least from what I saw, they didn't have a specific number on them. It just said Vault exclusive.
Yeah, I don't know why. Why don't you just do that?
That would be interesting if they would just, who cares how many are out there, Not even with the rares and chases, but with these exclusives like the Hoth pack or the Endor pack.
Right.
It's like, just put Vault exclusive and don't tell people how many are out there.
Yeah, exactly.
It's still desirable, I don't know. Make 6,000 of them and just don't put it on there.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. So the other things kind of in that Series 4 category that we've got, Imperial Shuttle, we got the AT-AT was discounted. That was discounted. It was on clearance, actually. I saw it on clearance at a Walmart and couldn't pass that up. And then you've got the AT-AT Endor that's still on Amazon, as well as Ahsoka's Jedi Starfighter Evolution thing has still been on there. It's been discounted for a long time.
Yeah,
Endor Battle
AT-AT
Pack
has been full price for a long time, which is weird.
I know. I don't know why they haven't.
The price was moving for a little while. They were having coupons on it, and it got down to maybe $40 or something like that with coupons. But
I think it was like 44 or something.
It has been full price for quite a while now, so I don't know if that means they're kind of down to the last few cases or what the deal with that is. But yeah, it's been $60 for quite a while.
I bet you if they dropped that thing down to $30 or $35, they would sell through all of them.
Oh, for sure. Now I'm curious if people pick up the new Vault set.
Yeah,
I do think it makes that Endor set slightly more desirable as a like companion. I mean, those kind of go together. The deco is the same, so
yep.
I think if you have one, the other one is more desirable.
Totally agree. Yeah, so then you got the Endor Battle Pack, which has been sitting at $60 still at Targets. There was a very short period of time where a few Targets were clearancing those out. There's the Vault exclusive one. We'll take a dive into that here shortly. But yeah, you've got that going on. Target Battle of Coruscant's already out, so then we go to Series.
Worth mentioning, just across the board, 20% off at Target right now.
Yeah, 20% off at Target.
So all that stuff. If you missed out on anything, this has been the first time in quite a while, I think, that you can get the Battle of Coruscant pack cheap.
You're talking about the
sorry.
Yeah, the Death Star.
Destroy the Death Star.
Yeah.
Destroy the Death Star has not been clearanced ever, I don't think.
Yeah, it was clearanced out somewhere in California, I know for sure.
Just on like a per store level, right? I haven't. There's been nothing store wide for these.
Correct.
So I think this is the first time to get a deal on them. So hopefully some of those move. I've seen actually more of them pop up lately. The shelves are getting a little deeper with them. So
yeah,
I hope people use this opportunity to pick some up. The U-Wing at $24 is great. The episode 1 stuff is amazing. Man, I already thought the Bongo at $20 was a great deal, but you know, for whatever it's at now, 16 bucks. That's like amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
That thing's huge compared to the Starfighter class, which is basically priced at now.
Yep. Yeah, and the N1 is discounted to like $11.99 as well. That'll be a great one. Like, man, I would get a couple at $7. I don't know that I
extras.
Need that
right. Yeah. The best deal I think right now are you can finally get a deal if you've been waiting for the Destroy the Death Star.
Yeah.
Coruscant packs are mostly gone from what I've seen.
I haven't seen any anywhere.
And then the shuttle's been discounted before, so really you're looking at that Death Star pack and the new episode 1 stuff and the U-Wing are where you can really rack up on a deal with that right now.
Yep.
And Amazon's price matching that U-Wing now, which is great.
So then we go to Series 5. So running through Scout class is still popping up Walmart's and Target's. I actually haven't seen. I've seen one maybe at Target's. One.
I've seen a lot at GameStops right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have not seen anything other than at Walmart's.
And they're $5. It's great. I think you even get $1 off if you're a pro member.
At GameStop.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. Finally, GameStop got out of the $8 or $10 range down to the $5, which was like,
they wised up. It's great.
Should have done that a long time ago. I'm sure Hot Topic.
I wish they were stocking them when I still needed them.
Yeah, right.
But I'm over here paying $12 for one at Hot Topic.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, definitely not doing that.
I wish Hot Topic was the last people to get them.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man, it's such a gouge.
And then you've got the light armor class, which has been popping up now. Again, all of the common vehicles are on Amazon in the light armor class bundles. You can get there. A lot of people have still been finding the chases and rares. The other 3-pack that's on there, that's $10 per for those. I got 2 of those.
The blinds.
Of the blinds, and 50% of them were the chases and rares. I got all of them. I got Aura Singh, I got the Scout, and I got Boba Fett.
Those things are insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, I would say if you're missing any of those, I would try that route first.
Take a shot. Yeah.
Yeah, they do take returns, so do whatever. And then we've seen Kit Fisto showing up as well. It seems like the case pack for that is 2 Resistance A-Wings, 2 Skiffs, Kit Fisto, and Mace. I think that's what the case pack is.
They take a Mace down and put the kit in.
Oh, is that what it is? So they got 5.
Is that that's what there should be 2 of each. And then if they're getting that kit put in, they take a Mace away.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I was fortunate to find one of the Kit Fistos. I would say I would not pay $200. I wouldn't pay more than $50 for that. Yes, it's cool to have for those completists that really want to get it. Do not buy that thing for over $100 if you're a completist. It is not worth it. I promise you.
What if you're a massive Kit Fisto fan?
If you're a massive Kit Fisto fan, wait. It's not worth more than $100. I promise you.
Okay.
It is by far
detail. It's a great micro fig.
The figure is great. I really enjoy the figure. I was not as impressed with it as I was expecting. It seems like when they mashed the two body pieces together, there was like a little bit of like an elephant's foot that came around the side, so it doesn't look like a smooth transition from front to back. It looks like two pieces stuck together. But the Jedi Starfighter, man, that just really left something to be desired. It looks great in pictures for whatever reason. All of the pictures that I've seen, when it doesn't have a wash on it, looks nice. But the one that I got has a wash on it, and it just does not look very good.
You know, I love the getting as many microfigs as possible. It's great.
Yeah.
I think I'm at the point where I'd probably rather have the interceptors than the deltas. I'm kind of delted out at this point, I believe.
Yeah. Well, we got at least one more coming.
I know. So. I saw somebody on Facebook that I think thought it was the interceptor coming, but
yeah, it does look like too that it's going to be a common vehicle, which seems odd. The setup looked like it was going to be. Well, now take this all for a grain of salt. These were the Walmart listings. So it has the Resistance A-Wing as the rare. It has.
Are you sure?
I think so. The Resistance A-Wing, the blue one, is going to be a chaser. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a chaser rare. And then you've got what was the other chase one? You've got that Sassy 10 one.
Yeah, I think the A-Wing is chase per the listing.
Right.
And then you've got all your Armada editions mixed in.
Okay, yeah. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. But anyways, getting back to Series 5, because we haven't finished going through Series 5 yet. Starfighter class has been out there. It seems like beyond the V-Wings right now, unless we get like a really big second release of them, I guess, where we'll get more of the Hollow X-Wings or the V-Wings. The Shadow V-Wings are down pretty low right now. The Hollow X-Wings, seems like a lot of people have picked them up, the ones that really wanted to get it. So that is that. And then beyond that, one of the great things about really, I would say, all of the Series 5 stuff is it does seem to sell through. So certainly at the Starfighter class level, it's selling through. U-Wings out there, which we talked about. And then obviously the Target exclusives N1 and Sub. So that is your Series 5 stuff. And so, yeah, let's hope that that as this reset happens with Walmart's, that they really start to push out some more of the Series 5 stuff. So I feel like Walmart only got one shipment-ish of the Series 5 stuff, maybe two.
Mm-hmm.
But I certainly have not seen that sitting on shelves like I've seen Targets have them, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I am interested to see with the N1 in there, whether or not that's taking up a Starfighter peg, for Target. Because it doesn't seem like
I'm hoping it doesn't, because they've been placed on the end caps.
Right.
At most Targets I've seen, they had that as kind of an end cap at least through this week. So hopefully that's not taking away space from the normal cases they should be getting in.
Agreed. Well, let's keep going with this too, because we got Series 6 and 7 stuff. We've seen some of those listings pop up. So nobody knows whether or not those listings are actually real, or whether or not we're going to get them, or what they're going to look like, or whether or not that's actually the actual lineup that they have.
Uh-huh.
So take those for a grain of salt, but it is nice to see some of those different things pop up. You got the V-19 Torrent, you got the Jandu Blood, Cad Bane's ship, the Gauntlet Night Brother version, Mauls.
Which is a good segue into. Yeah. We finally had some confirmation of one of them.
Really?
On Amazon.
Oh, yes, with the Phantom.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So the Phantom is coming in Series 6 as a comic.
I think it lends a little bit extra credence to the to those listings that we have that much info. And I think I believe some people said they were able to order some Phantoms. I never saw the Phantom in stock.
On Canada, the Canadian.
Right, on Amazon Canada. I never saw it in stock, but several people said they were able to purchase one. So
nice.
Who knows? The other one that popped up, the ATTE.
Yep.
Popped up. Those two listings randomly popped up on Amazon Canada. The ATTE was up for a good 10 to 15 minutes or so, I believe. Maybe 10 minutes.
Nice.
So I think several people were able to get those that I saw.
Yeah.
Now, will they get those shipped out before the U.S. sees them? Who knows? But hopefully
not. Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see, too, what they do with the Phantom. And so, now this can kind of, I think, lead a little bit into what we might see here with Starfighter class and Light Armor class is, with that being Series 6 and it being a companion to the Ghost, and Ghost coming out in August, in terms of what we heard that it's going to be on shelves in August. I wonder whether or not that doesn't mean Series 6 will theoretically hit in August. And so we might see the rest of like a full Wave 4 or Series 4 and 5, flood the market.
Yeah. I mean, my gut was always we ought to be able to see they always try to hit that late summer, August date. So my gut is we will see some of that Series 6 stuff around August, maybe into September. Now, what they have not traditionally hit super well is the holiday time frame there. So if they could get things on track and hit holiday with Series 7, that'd be amazing. But
not holding my breath.
Yeah, I'm hoping we can get a little more Series 5 on shelves, specifically the light armor.
Yeah,
because I'd love to see those. I'd love to see those Vader interceptors out.
Yeah, especially we got to get a full run of those. Everybody's going to want it. So question here, will the line continue beyond Wave 8? That's a great question. So we're seeing through 7 right now, which makes sense. So originally the cadence the idea was to have 3 releases a year. It was going to be spring, fall, and then winter was really what they were trying to do. So like now time frame, August, September timeframe, and then like right before Christmas. Obviously, they've missed those every single way that you could possibly miss them. So in all of the conversations that we had with the company in terms of where they were going, it always heard up to 7. I know that they were in contract negotiations to extend their licensing agreement. I believe they had a 2-year one initially, and so I would imagine that they
must have already extended it.
Yeah, and I'm sure that they did. So we've got probably still a couple more years.
And I don't think Jazzwares wants to lose.
No way.
The Star Wars brand. I mean, once you're in, my guess is you want to stay in with them and find ways to drop in other lines and stuff. I'm sure they want. They've got the costumes they're doing now. Now they're doing costumes that are licensed from Lucasfilm. I assume there's probably Star Wars Squishmallows and stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure there's that stuff. It's going to be
next random, IP they have that they, the next brand they create or something. I'm sure they would want to tie Star Wars into that somehow.
Yeah.
So once you're in, I don't think it behooves them to get out of it unless the line is just tanking, which it does not seem like it is. It's certainly healthier than some of the brands they have right now. So
yeah, I would agree. I think the biggest thing that they really need to do a better job of, obviously, well, communication is probably the biggest thing. But then beyond that, it's like, listen to your fans, man. I mean, come on. So I don't think that they care, to be perfectly honest. I would say I don't think they care at all what the fans really want or think, not at the very high level of the company. I'm sure the brand manager and all of the people that are on the Star Wars team at Jazzwares really care a lot about what the fans think and what they want, but the upper management just doesn't seem to have any interest in our frustrations as collectors. They certainly take feedback from us based on, what we like and don't like. The one thing that was in Series 1, obviously, with the washes being really bad. Everybody complained about the washes. Everybody complained about the figures sucking, and that we didn't want them to be an afterthought. And so they did a good job of changing that as the series has gone on. So, yeah, they've definitely heard us and made some changes. But, certainly I think they need to listen to us a little bit more on this whole chase and rare BS. There was another question up here as well. I think it's Skip S. Is the Armada edition, will that be repaints, from Adrian? Hey, Alex, what's up, man? Glad I got. Yes.
The ships should just be exactly the same. I don't think there'll be any difference in the ships.
Yes, correct. Well, they'll likely do some updated deco, is what they'll do on them.
But from my understanding, it was only current level deco, so the ships should be the same. The only thing I could see them doing is potentially adding the paint to the end of the thrusters, like to look like like thruster emissions in there.
Yeah,
and the only thing I think you could see updates on are the droids.
Mm-hmm.
And
the wash,
probably the helmets.
Yep, and the wash.
My guess would be the helmets. The wash could be a little different, but essentially it's the same ship with maybe a slightly better looking figure. So like an Armada X-Wing would have a little nicer wash and the updated helmet deco from, I don't know, the Hoth set or whatever.
Yep. Yeah, and with the TIE Fighter 2, they'll do the transparent cockpit door as well, canopy. So that instead of having the one that's just got the black lines on it,
he'll have the cogs, the recent cogs, but it's not different items. It is just slightly updated versions of the existing ships.
Yeah, for sure.
With the idea that there should always be things like TIE fighters or X-Wings and stuff like that on the pegs for new casual collectors and new people to the line.
Right, and David
which there's validity to that. I get it.
For sure. Wondering if the Armadas will be packed in with the regular series. I believe so. They won't take up one of the series slots, as in, we should still have 5 vehicles, 3 commons, 1 rare, 1 chase. That would be my initial inclination.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It
certainly seems like it.
Yeah, we'll see how that plays out after a series or 2.
Yeah, I mean, based on the quantity of items that we saw, we saw, in terms of all of the listings, so the Phantom is actually going to be light armor class, but of all of the listings, there was 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
That Phantom did not look light armor class to me in that packaging, right? That just looks straight up Starfighter packaging.
Really? I thought that was light armor class.
Because the bubble took up the entire, I don't know.
I thought that looked light armor class. It's not very big. I mean, if you look at the one picture Mauricio, do you have that picture of the Phantom from the back where the top is pulled off and you can see the actual? I don't think you might not have the Phantom on there. If you see where the top is pulled off.
No, I don't. But let me find it. Let me find it.
Should be in the chat.
Yeah, there's the little C clip that's inside of there for the figure to stand on. That's it looks really small. Doesn't look like a very big area, but anyways, so it's very possible it could be Starfighter class, but either way, with all of the vehicles that we've seen, that's at least 2 series for Starfighter class, plus the Armadas. So I feel like it's got to be a add-on.
Yeah, I do think there's a potential for that to change down the road. That would be my... If I was placing a bet on it, I would say down the road, it could potentially take the place of
there it
one
is.
Of those spots.
I love that they've got now the Star Wars Rebels thing on there. So yeah, I mean, look how small that looks.
Yeah, I mean...
With Chopper in there? Looks tiny.
Yes, I
mean, Chopper's got to be, what,
That doesn't look like that much crazier than the X-Wing.
Oh, I guess it does look kind of big there.
Ezra looks pretty small in there.
Yeah.
And didn't the listing say 5-inch instead of 3-inch?
I don't know. But yeah, I could buy that.
No, yeah. David says the Amazon and Walmart both had 5-inch vehicle.
Okay. So maybe it is Starfighter.
Yeah.
Nice.
It looks great, I guess. It
does look really great.
I'm happy with it. Chopper looks incredible. Ezra looks good. Yeah,
I'm surprised that they have this other little feature where the top comes off like that. It's in war.
And the wings actually operate like they're supposed to.
Yep.
I mean, listen, the fact that this exists at all and it exists in this level is amazing,
Agreed.
But yeah, back to what you were saying. One of my favorite things about these 2 listings that went up are the inclusion of the media logos on them. I love that.
Yeah.
It's not quite as cool as like a TVC card back or something like that, because I love those. I wish there was a way to even implement it more into the design of the packaging, but I'm happy with what we're getting now. I think that's great, having the movie or show logos on the packaging.
Yeah, man, that thing looks so cool. I love that. It does look so cool.
Man, I can't wait for that. Hey, there's a chance we could be pre-ordering it tomorrow, although the closer we get, the more I'm thinking that's not going to be the case.
Right.
I think, I'm not sure who told that to Paul, but maybe plans changed, or, who knows. But
yeah, man,
I'm getting the feeling that that's not going to be the case tomorrow, as much as I wish it was.
Yeah, Chopper does look really good there.
Especially with, I feel like the Vault exclusive kind of put the nail in that coffin, but potentially too. I don't know if you want that hanging over another pre-order, since that's coming on Monday. They may have even moved the Ghosts to do this Vault exclusive pre-order instead.
Gotcha. Yeah, you can see there on the very bottom of the ship are the little clips that it'll act kind of like landing gear right here on this, but they'll actually clip into the Ghost so that way it sits in there.
With the Phantom facing backwards, correct?
Yeah, the Phantom is facing backwards. Yep. Yeah, there you can see little clips underneath. It looks like almost like an H clip or a U clip type of a scenario where it clicks in, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I've been curious how this was actually going to work.
It doesn't look like it's going to be a slide in.
Mauricio, do you have that Ghost picture I sent you?
Give me a minute.
Jazzwares put out a little teaser for the Ghost saying coming soon, and it would be on shelves in August.
Mm-hmm.
But the image had the Phantom docked on the back.
Yeah, I did see
and
that.
I thought it looked cool, and then I noticed a lot of people were
saying it sits too high.
Were nitpicking at however it worked or looked or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, there were several people that didn't love that. So
yeah, I did see that. I saw the same comments of it doesn't look like it sits high enough, and you can't.
It's not flush.
Yeah,
or it only goes one direction.
Right.
Does the nose come off? There was a lot of nitpicking going on.
Yeah.
I didn't really get that, but I guess there's always things to be nitpicked, I suppose. But I'm glad it functions at all.
Right. I'm with you.
It looks awesome to me. I can't wait to see. I don't know. I'm curious how quick we get the Phantom 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be curious.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like that's a Series 7 thing. So.
Right.
Maybe 8, but I'll be happy to get the Phantom 2 at some point as well.
Yeah, or it'll come in some type of battle pack.
There we go.
Yeah, there it is sitting on there.
So this is another image they posted, and this is the first time we've actually seen it docked. On the back there. So
yeah, it does look like it sits a little high.
Yeah, and it's been so many years now that I'm not even sure what it's supposed to look like, so it doesn't look off to me because I'm not like looking at a reference picture beside it. But yeah, hopefully it fits snugly on there. You never know too. Whoever was taking the production photos may not have had it clipped in all the way. Who knows? But
for sure,
I think it's awesome that it exists and that it even functions at all.
Agreed.
And it just shows you the scope of the Ghost, because that's a starfighter size vehicle.
Right.
And it's a pretty small portion of the Ghost. You know what I mean? If that thing's roughly 5 inches, that's massive. Like, that is huge.
Yeah.
Did you see the Hasbro showed off the box today for the HasLab Ghost?
I saw that, yeah.
It is just unbelievably massive. It is so huge.
I saw that.
I don't know what I'm going to do with it. So there's definitely a part of me that's like, man, if this Ghost turns out amazing, I could potentially see myself keeping the figures and selling the HasLab Ghost.
Yeah.
And then this just being, because this is huge,
right.
But I can find a way to display this. I don't know if I can find a way to display the HasLab. So
yeah, the HasLab one is like 2 feet by 3 feet, isn't it?
It's insane. Yeah. So, I mean, it's like a coffee table.
Right.
So
yeah,
the better this keeps looking better and better. And I'm starting to sweat a little bit with the HasLab. Like, should I keep it? Should it?
Right.
And I think, this sounds like it's going to hit shelves before we get the Ghost in hand. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, it looks like they're nailing it. So
I know I'm really excited to see. We've seen pictures, but the pictures we saw were obviously prototypes.
I really wanted to put money down, but whatever. Maybe next week.
Yeah, no,
I'm coming soon. Who knows? Maybe they'll just, maybe they'll wait till May 25th or whatever, whatever's actual Star Wars Day,
Right.
I think the 25th is Star Wars Day, so we'll see. But,
yeah, I would imagine since with the differences that you can get in the Ghost, that they will do multiple of these, similar to what they did with the Falcon and what they've done with the AT-AT. You get 3 different versions of the AT-AT. I would imagine that we're going to see something similar like that with the Ghost, where we're going to get this version that's going to have the Phantom 1. We'll probably get one that has the Phantom 2. Might get an Ahsoka version as well. Yeah. So you could battle pack this kind of like they did with the Destroy the Death Star. You could do, the Ghost with a couple X-Wings or with Hera's A-Wing or
Vault exclusive.
Yeah, you could do it that way with a Sabine tie and a Harris A-Wing, which everybody's asked for forever.
The only way I could see that is if they did Sabine's tie on the damaged TIE Fighter mold and did a damaged Sabine's TIE Fighter.
Well,
now,
they could do some other,
because it gets blasted up in the show, right?
It gets blown up completely.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's not even battle damage; it's just exploded.
Again, if brand manager Cole is making decisions, and for whatever reason we can't fudge that 5,000 number, okay, we're gonna paint the exact same thing over the damaged TIE Fighter mold, and we're gonna put that on Vault for $20, and there's 10,000 of them, and it'll sell out.
Well, and with their advances they've done in the figures, you could definitely expand on the deco on that, and you could do, because there's quite a bit more that's actually on that TIE Fighter on the cockpit, where it's got all of the Spectre 1 through 6 logos on it.
The checkerboarding was pretty rough from what I remember too. It's pretty fuzzy.
Yep. So yeah, they could definitely update that and make it look better.
That's what I would do to, I love seeing the this new exclusive because it's a little smaller and cheaper. But I'm really waiting for the day where they'll put something up at 5,000 or however many. I don't think we've seen over 5,000 yet, have we?
On what?
On Vault.
Oh yeah, no.
I think everything's been below 5,000. But at 5,000 or whatever, that I want to see just an exclusive ship to Vault, an exclusive repaint on Vault.
I'm sure we will at some point, but it'll be 500, one of 500. So then we got ATTE popped up, which looks amazing. Oh my god!
Yeah, and a lot of people got orders in for this one.
I cannot
and I believe it said shipping, which it doesn't mean anything. Shipping in July.
Yeah, gosh. I mean, the one thing that's so cool about the ATTE that we haven't even seen yet,
there it is
you get all the figures, but if you go to the next picture where it shows the back of the box, it has you can seat up to 11 figures inside, and it shows that little diagram there on the top.
Yeah, I love that diagram. I zoomed in on that on my phone, when we got these pictures.
Yeah. Yep, so you got the legs that move, all of the guns on the front rotate. It's got what is that there on the back? Oh yeah, the cockpit opens, the gun turret on the top moves, and then you can see right there at the top of the picture, you've got two different sections of the actual thing that open. So the rear end, which we have an actual picture of, which we'll look at, and then you have that front section also. And you can see in the picture there, at the top, you can see how you can get all of those different figures in there. So you got the 2 that sit in the cockpit, then you've got 6 that sit in the front portion of it, and you got 2 that sit in the back. Man, that is really cool. And then as you if you keep scrolling over there, the 2 Bark speeders that are in there, which is something I had no idea was
elevator.
Coming. With the elevator, that thing is so sick. And you got the 2 gunners that sit there as well. That's like, man, this thing is
amazing.
Loaded.
Yeah, it's incredible.
It is loaded. I hope that they figured out something to do for that connector piece between the 2, like they have on the AT-AT, where that thing doesn't fall apart.
I doubt it.
I really hope they figured that out. Although of the AT-ATs that I've seen that have popped up in stores more recently, I haven't seen any of the damaged necks like I've seen, like there were at the initial run.
It's also possible they could have used for this, they could use a much thicker.
Yeah.
I don't think it would necessarily need to be as thin as the
it doesn't look the same in this picture. It looks like it's square. It doesn't look like it's
square. So,
but yeah, there's the elevator and the gun sitting back there. And look at the detail on the back of it as well. The deco on the feet, you get the brown feet, the All of the wash on that looks really good, where it's kind of like in the grooves.
Yeah,
you've got
again, some almost unanimous praise and positivity for it.
Yeah,
and not something that bothers me at all. But I did see a lot of people mention the white panels on it.
the white panels.
Yeah, people. I think there were some people that weren't loving the how white the accent panels were.
Get out of here!
Like more than a handful of comments. It was a surprising number.
I am sure
at this point, not really
we'll
surprising,
get this
but
in a different deco. I'm sure that they'll do this in a different deco.
It would be nice. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people would army build a few of these.
Yeah, I mean, are you kidding me?
It looks amazing. Awesome. I mean, this is where the line shines, right?
Mm-hmm.
Starship class, this Dreadnought class. I mean, they can really up the detail and the play features and everything in there. And you know what's interesting is I think they told us $50, correct, is what this would be, but it was on Amazon Canada for $50 Canadian, which makes me think
it's like 40 something.
You could have priced this at $40 US.
Yeah, that'd be money.
And I mean, at $40 US, this is a steal. It's amazing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I mean, there's a tiny chance that could be the case. Is that the same Rex?
Yes.
I didn't look at it closely enough to tell the other day, but
yes,
I was curious if it was the same Rex, same phase and everything.
Same. Yep. Yeah, that looks like phase 1. Mm. They all look like phase 1. The clone pilot looks like he's got the cogs on his helmet now.
Which makes sense since it's got the Attack of the Clones
and
logo on it.
The other thing that's very exciting about this, which I'm really fired up about, I want to see how these pilots sit in there, because I actually have a 3D file that has a seated trooper.
Yeah,
just like they're sitting right there, but you can see those guys have got like a little thing that goes in between their legs, which those figures would not work for. But I mean, we've got to get another blind box that's got clones in it. I mean, we're gonna have to
just to up your art, just to troop build,
fill it out. Yeah, I mean, you have to, because especially with this, you know, I mean, I don't know what other vehicle you could put them in
at this point. What could they give us?
Well, I mean, since you've got the E-Web cannon, you could potentially do it with something like that. There's so many different clones that have some of those portable devices like that you could do, guns.
I gotta say, I'm about ready for phase 2 to hit.
Oh, phase 2 clones?
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see
racking up phase 2 clones.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see how they do those, but. Yep. Yeah, so hopefully we'll get those. So the ATTE looks awesome. They did a great job with that. And then we've got the Battle of Carcoon. Is that what it is?
So do we want to... So Vault, if we're going to jump to Vault, do we want to talk about the last drop at all? Do we want to touch on that?
Sure.
What
do you want to touch on?
Well, I'm curious, since it was the biggest story, biggest anything in that I've seen in the community so far. What was your experience that day checking out for that Vault drop 2?
Dude, total chaos. So
what time was it? What were you doing?
Yeah, I just 3D printed a stand for something, and I went outside and I was in my garage. There was 3 minutes left to go. I went out there, I pulled them off of the printer. I was kind of cleaning it up a little bit. This is just like my FDM printer. And I was like, yeah, I'll just wait until 12, you know, it'll come up, like, don't freak out. And then I pulled up my phone and there was like 1 minute and 15 seconds left. And I was like, I'll just refresh it. What the heck? And I refreshed it and it popped right up. And I was like, oh my God. So really quick.
You were on the direct, you were on the the direct product page, right?
I think so.
Yeah, you would have had to have been, yeah.
And then it popped up, and I really quick hit 2 as the quantity, and then I just hit checkout. I literally didn't look at anything. And I was like, I'm not worried at all about the putting in the discount code or anything. I went right to checkout. I hit checkout, and then it popped up with an alert and it said, your address is wrong. And I was like, what are you talking about? My address is wrong in Apple Pay. And it was like, select your address. So I really quick select one. And then it was like, your username or your name is wrong. And I was like, I just picked something really quick. And then I went to check out because I was thinking I'm going to have to go to Apple Pay in the iPhone. And I was like, there's no way I'm leaving this page. So then
you been using Apple Pay?
I was, yeah.
Okay. So for whatever reason, it's been defaulting me to Shop Pay.
Oh, I haven't set up Shop,
which for me has been very smooth.
Okay, yeah, I might have to go through that because then I double click it and I was like, all right, perfect. I got an order in. I want to go back and see whether or not I could get one with the discount code.
So what time was this now? And now you've checked down.
It had to be right at 12.
1 till or right at 12. Okay.
It was 1 minute till when I started the whole process. Yeah. It probably took me 45 seconds to a minute to get through that whole thing.
Okay.
Because it was just like total, my brain was like going nuts. And as soon as I clicked it and it said order confirmed, it popped right back up to the page and it said sold out. And I was like, oh, well, maybe it's sold out for me because I reached the limit. And so then I looked back at it and I was like, oh my God, it's got 3 as the limit and it's sold out. So I went over to the page and then all of a sudden my DMs just started going nuts. And everyone was like, oh my God, did you get it? It's sold out already. And I was like, what the just happened? Oh, excuse my language. It's like, what just happened? And then it was just like total chaos for the next hour as everybody was messaging and trying to get it. So,
yeah. Well,
yeah,
I'm glad you got 2.
I got 2. Yeah. Because I want to,
cool.
Yeah. I want to keep 1 in the package and 1 out. So
yeah.
Especially with the updated droid deco, that was one of the things that was the clincher. If it wasn't the updated droid deco, I would have just gotten 1 and been done with it.
Mm-hmm. I was anytime anything's about. I'm terminally on Discord in general, but anytime something's near dropping, I'm usually kind of on the page and checking Discord. Stuff like that. And I think I shared the individual page, but going forward, if they're going to put out these individual pages, I would definitely suggest that everyone use the product page and do not sit there on the vault page waiting for the countdown to hit 0. If you want something, open up. If you want multiple items, you just need to open up multiple tabs and make sure you're signed in already.
That's a smart idea.
I mean, it's a pretty common thing with a lot of these drops, not Micro Galaxy, but across the board. It's pretty common that stuff will drop a little bit early. So I'm trying to make the rounds and post the thing and reminders and things like that. And I refreshed it maybe 5 till, didn't see any change. And then somebody on Discord, everybody's refreshing, every 20 seconds or so. And at 3 till the hour, somebody popped up on Discord and said, hey, it's live. And I'm like, nice. I'm not sure what I was doing, but I definitely saw it pop up with like now live, and it's like the blood rushed down to me, and I'm like, oh, and I'm trying to get in there. And really, once I saw it and was in there, added it to cart, I was pretty leisurely about it because we didn't know it was going to be insane. It took weeks for the Hoth set to sell out. The other Scout set is still available. So I didn't really think anything of it. I'm like, oh, it's up a few minutes early. That's cool. I went on and I refreshed the Halo page, and I'm like, oh, cool. I guess I'll add guess I'll add this 5-pack to the cart, and I'd go through checkout, and I get one light armor set, one Halo pack, and check out. And I'm like, well, now I need to start making my posts. And I do another round of posts, and that's when basically all the posts immediately started getting flooded with it's sold out, what is happening. Every kind of expletive laden response imaginable. And then it was like, oh no. What has happened?
They really.
So I got mine. I got my one, but I was like shocked at everything that happened after that.
Yeah.
Man,
I agree.
This kind of stuff happens all the time. If you collect a lot, you kind of know that. I think for the next, I don't know if it was just because with light armor specifically, somebody caught on that Ayla sells for X, Plo sells for X, and somebody in their like scalping community is like, hey, everybody needs to go jump on these. You can make a killing. That's my guess. I don't know why they went as fast as they did.
Yeah.
It's crazy the difference between drop 1 and drop 2 in terms of demand. I mean, it's hard for me, even with those ships being desirable, it's hard for me to like reconcile that's how fast those went.
Yeah, but the problem with it though isn't, I bet you if they had the same limit of 2, then you have
then it's a third 30% slower. But
30% slower. But not only that,
but
the other part of it
in 2 minutes.
Yeah, but the other part of it, like you were saying, is that they were throttling the cart where they kept adding some in. Well, when you do that, the bots are designed to just go in and snag them. So that's why people kept getting it to their cart.
That was weird. Yeah, that was really strange. I hope they don't do that again. I'd rather it just all sell out.
Right. Yeah, why would you do it that way?
None of that. I'm not sure what the...
what a disaster.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the goal there was doing that. I mean, it doesn't surprise me that the limit was changed because of how drop 1 went.
Yeah, agreed.
There is no limit on them, and a lot of those stayed up for over a week or are still up. So I think they just didn't understand the difference in demand that this one would have.
Yeah. And I bet so here's the thing that happens on the next one. So they hear everybody griping. Well, no, not necessarily on Monday, but maybe on Monday. But they hear everybody griping about it. So then when they go to release the Starfighter class, they go, we're going to limit it to 1. And then it never sells out.
And it doesn't sell out because...
And then they're like, oh, well, we really screwed that up. We got to go back the other way. And it's like, you guys just have to be in tune.
What they need to do is they just need to... Well, and here's the problem. There's multiple issues going on with this. In a perfect world where they were policing things as they should, it's fine if you have limit 1 or limit 2. The way they did it the first time was great.
Mm-hmm.
Limit it to 1. I guess 2 if you have to, but raise it the day after if it's still up. Take it away after 48 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Raise the limit to 3 on day 2. If it's still up on day 3, no limit.
Right.
But day 1 has got to be limit 1 or limit 2. And I think I would prefer limit 1 just so as many people as possible have an opportunity to get one.
Totally.
Because you're talking about the difference in 1,500 people getting one and 750 people getting one. So,
or 500.
I mean, it's just, yeah. So my gut is do limit 1, and just see. But I get the overcorrection on the limit because of how drop 1 went.
Right.
It's just unfortunate. So I hope they go back to what they did with Drop 1 and leave it that way.
Yeah.
I don't think these have to sell out instantly. I mean, if it's gone in a few days, that's great. A lot of these seem like they're not selling out. So,
yeah.
I mean, the other brands, I mean, I don't know that I think a lot of the wrestling stuff is still there too, right?
It is, yeah. I think the only one that sold out was the Malachi.
Yeah.
That was it. I don't think any of the other brands have sold out.
Did anything from Drop 2 sell out at this point? Is anything sold out?
I haven't checked, but I wouldn't imagine so. Yeah, so, I would agree. I mean, they need to do something for the bot protection because that's the other part is the timer's great if it actually opens at the timer. However, if you have bots all designed to be able to go in and buy up the entire stock as soon as it hits, nobody has a chance.
Which is why I'm telling people, if they're going to put these product pages out early, you need to have the individual product page pulled up. You need to be there 5 minutes early at least, refreshing, and you need to be signed in and have shop already set up with all your info and everything in there, payment method.
Yeah.
Everything has got to be set up. And I would have my browser and my phone, my desktop and my phone with it both pulled up just in case one has issues and maybe the mobile site starts working better. And shoot, I'd even on the shop app, it even if we don't get the product pages, I would have a tab pulled up that is the Jazzwares tab, and I would be spamming newest arrivals on the Jazzwares tab so that even if the countdown doesn't hit 0, those pages could still be popping up with a minute or two to go. You know what I'm trying to say?
Mm-hmm.
So not on the Vault tab, but I'm on the Jazzwares tab in another browser tab, spamming newest arrivals, trying to see if the product pages do. Yeah. Damon, I'm talking about not the Vault landing pad, not the Vault landing page with the countdown, but for Drop 1, all we had was the countdown page, the landing page. For Drop 2, they released the individual product pages early.
Yeah, so you go to Star Wars, and then you click on the actual Starfighter or whatever. You click on the actual item itself. It will then pull up that item with the countdown on it.
So my guess is anybody that got one was monitoring that product page.
Right.
The individual product page, not the landing page, not Vault or anything like that. They were on the light armor page for that product, just spamming a refresh on that.
I get
And when that went up 3 minutes early, everybody who was sitting there at the landing page waiting for it to hit 0, it was gone, 30 seconds or more before that. So if we have access, I put it out, it was posted a lot of places. I will try to post those individual pages. Yeah, the Battle of Endor page is already up as well.
Yeah.
The price is $40. Using the same trick that we used on the other ones.
Yep. Yeah, I do hope that they correct the limit on that.
Yeah. So that would be my suggestion. Even the shop app has a Jazzwares store on the shop app. I would even potentially have that up with the newest arrivals on that shop app, just anywhere where you could potentially see that page go live as quickly as possible. I'd have all those ready and be spamming it 5 minutes early.
Yeah.
You don't want to be on that landing page watching a countdown. The hiding the price is strange, but it's definitely in the code because Google has been pulling it up. So it's $40.
Yeah.
For the new. I guess we can move on. I don't know. I know everybody was upset about that drop. I don't know.
Yeah.
I will say I did take a few days. I read everyone's messages they sent me, and then took a mental health day after that.
Yeah.
It was bad.
I kind of felt the same way. It was like a whirlwind.
Usually it's not a big deal when people think I'm an official account, but that day it was really bad that people thought I was an official account.
That you were the guy.
Yeah, I got lots and lots of FUs.
Cole, you screwed this up, man.
Lots of FU messages in the Instagram DMs.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, hey, I'm just a guy. Here's the official Jazzwares handle if you want to send feedback.
Yeah,
I will say, for the sake of the community, I did put together a list and send it to someone at Jazzwares, just as a I don't know if they'll see it or if they'll do anything with it, but you know, it's somebody there that could get things done if they do read it and take it into consideration. And it's not Max, so hopefully they read it. But I went through, and I won't read the whole thing, but I will say the bullet points of just things I noticed and things that would be great, because just tension points within the community with that drop.
Yeah.
I did let them know that with light armor, because I think there's people at the company that have no idea this is even a thing, but I did start off saying, anytime you have light armor, it is the chases and rares are more in demand because only Walmart carries that right now.
Right.
So Walmart is the only retailer that you can find those chases and rares at. So that light armor set is always going to be the most in demand out of those box sets. And then I mentioned Series 4 with the split cases that never hit shelves. Light Armor and Starfighter are also going to be wildly in demand if we haven't seen that product on shelves by the time they get to that. Just letting them know that that's a thing that's going to happen. I then let them know that the pages went up 3 minutes before the hour. So it left anybody who is watching their countdown timer in the dust. And it's just it's a bad user experience. I don't think you want, everyone that's following the rules to, so many people were frustrated that it hit 0 and it was sold out, and all they had to do, all they did was sit there and have refresh issues with stuff not adding to cart, which brings me to my next one, where I said they were throttling the inventory, but that left people refreshing and trying to check out and add to cart for 30 to 40 minutes after launch, and very few of those people got them at that point. So another very, very poor user experience because of that. The limit being 3, a huge issue. And beyond the limit of 3, it doesn't seem like they are actually policing multiple orders.
Right.
So you could place 6 orders for 3. And that's an issue. Like that's a problem. Having a limit of 3 is a problem, but being able to place 15 orders of 3 is a massive, massive problem. So, I'm just asking if there's a way they can, if there's a way they can tweak that software to police those multiple orders. Because I think that was a huge, huge issue.
That's why I was saying, like, when I purchased mine and I went back in to see whether or not I could get more, was to see, it should essentially do that. You should have to leave and get logged into a new account. But even still, what would stop people from doing that? I don't know. It's a hard one. Do you think there will be a new release on May 4th? Probably not, considering that they've got the Vault release that's coming on the 6th, the Endor pack. So I would say probably not anything on the 4th. If anything, it might be a pre-order for, Amazon or something. But
yeah, and I did let them know that there's people on Amazon that had like a dozen items available on their listing, which again, that's just a massive issue. And then, the throttling was an issue, poor user experience. And then lastly, have they continued to give any thought to premium memberships or some kind of paywall where you could potentially have early access to these or something to deter bots? I did mention bots, just saying, hey, when the individual product pages are up that long, I think that it makes it easier to script bots and extensions, to allow people access to those. I just said, hey, is there any way we could see more advanced bot protection or some simple captchas put in place or something? But we shall see. The premium membership thing. I know that wouldn't be for everybody, but if it made the experience better and easier to get these, I'd probably be down for it.
Yeah,
but I might be in the minority on that.
Well, I just wonder too how much do they really care? Like,
yeah, and we'll see. I mean, I sent that. We'll see. I don't know. That was not someone on the MGS team. So.
Yeah, the other thing that was interesting to see was on the Instagram page on their vault page on day one, like right after, there were 40 comments within like the first 15 minutes. And of the 40 comments, one of them was about one of the other items. Everybody else was blasting them. And the comments
were raging for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, the comments stopped at 40. They cut them off. And then I went back the next day, and then there were 40 some more. It was like 80 something, and again, everyone was negative. So
and then didn't they turn off comments on one of their posts?
Yeah, they turned it off on that one, and then I guess they turned it back on, and people still ripped them again. Yeah. It's just like, oh my god.
Yeah, it was a misstep. So we'll see. I hope they tweak things. I don't know how robust that team is that's working specifically on Vault, but I hope they saw some negative feedback. I know the Micro Galaxy team saw the reaction.
Yeah.
Just chatting with them, I know they saw the reactions from people. So I hope there's some way to get that to. That was my intention, at least, with just sending a message, that, hey, can this get to someone that can make a difference? I think there's some pretty easy things that could be done to alleviate some of this tension.
Yeah.
And then there's a little bit of legwork to do that could make this a better experience overall, that hopefully they do. We'll see.
Yeah, it's just hard to imagine that they are that out of touch with the community. Like, it's just hard to imagine that they just don't see any of the frustration of the chases and rares are a pain to get, and nobody likes them. Well, I take that back. 20%, actually 12% of people do like the chases and rares. 88% don't like that.
Yeah, I like them, but that's waning at this point.
Yeah, I think we've talked about it ad nauseum. It makes total sense. Like, you don't need to produce 100,000 Kit Fistos. You probably need to produce 5,000 or 10,000 of them. But when you slap the sticker on it, it's one where it becomes extremely difficult for even the casual collector who would want to have it to be able to get it at a reasonable cost.
Yeah.
Sticker
should go. And
I know.
I would just rather see it. I would just rather them short pack very specific things.
Right. I mean, I don't understand why
double pack army builders are really popular characters, and just short pack, or every 3 cases something. They can do that pretty easily. I think it's definitely a business decision on their part at a high level.
Right.
That it needs to be a thing, and I don't think it's going anywhere, and I don't think giving the Micro Galaxy team any any flack for it is going to do anything, because I think
for sure
they understand and their hands are tied as well. So
yeah, I think that's a
Jazzware's proper, like, capital J. I mean, it's a high level decision.
Yes,
and I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. But I do wish they would up the limits, because it's Star Wars. Come on,
right? Totally.
5,000's crazy.
Yeah. Yes, I echo that.
If any of that is fixed on Monday.
Yeah, it is not Micro Galaxy Squadron that has come up with the idea of doing the chases and rares. That is not their decision. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, Monday,
yeah, we got another Vault exclusive coming. What do you think? How many of those are you going to get? Are you just going to get one of them, or?
Yeah, I'll just get one. Well,
I was thinking the same thing. I mean, I would really like to have.
You know what? With the shipping, I don't want to pay $15 shipping.
Oh man,
it depends. You know, I feel like every week their shipping limit, their free shipping number has changed. For a while it was 35, and then it was like 99, and then it was 60. Let's see what it's at right now.
Yeah, I hope it's 35. Because I was thinking the same thing. I was like, man, I really don't need multiple of those figures again. I would really like to have multiple of those ATSTs so I don't have to customize them. Although I would probably do a much better job customizing an ATST.
Yeah,
the Endor.
It's still at 60. So, and I've used both codes now.
Oh, bummer.
So, man, I might get two. We'll see.
Yeah.
Listen, the packaging on this is incredible. I mean, it's like really
cool.
The contents, I'm actually I have it already, and the deco is nothing to write home about.
Yep.
It's interesting that they doubled down on this very controversial and divisive deco for the Endor.
Oh, yes, I know.
They doubled down on it, and we've got the mud and vines back on an ATST.
Yep. What would have been really cool is to get two ATSTs, one like this and one with the head smashed.
Can you tell me, is the Ewok that's on that glider, is that the exact same Ewok that's on the other glider? Or
I don't think so.
Are we getting an Ewok variant?
Yeah. But if we can zoom in on it.
I'm sold. It's like a very light gray Ewok with a kind of a dark red. Yeah, it's a different Ewok.
Yeah, it's a brown one with a hood. Yeah.
So we're getting a different Ewok, which means I gotta get it. But yeah, I might try to get one open and take the Ewok and the ATST out.
Is it Wicket? Maybe it's Wicket.
It doesn't really look like him.
And then you got Luke and Leia in there. They've all got the right speeders on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that paint doesn't
look nothing new there. We've got a normal Scout with the Paplu speeder.
Right.
That deco is just crazy.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it zoomed in.
I know, it does not look very good.
Such a silly deck. And honestly, they didn't do what I was hoping. It looks like the same ATST.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a gray version.
The plastic color and the brown wash on it.
Yeah.
I really wanted like a steel gray.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, although it doesn't make sense for this one, but that would be a great Armada edition release.
I mean, but that's what they were in the movie, right? I mean, it's like a steel gray in the movie, correct?
Yeah. Yep. But it wouldn't.
You could do a brown wash over it, but the base color is already really warm that they've used for this one, so the brown wash just accentuates that.
Yeah.
Regardless, I was on the fence about the contents, but the packaging is so amazing.
Yeah, the packaging is so cool.
I mean, it's definitely like VHS vibes for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like what I grew up with was this VHS tape right here. It's amazing.
Yeah, I have that same image as a puzzle poster that I made when I was like in I don't know, elementary school or something like that. That we Mod Podged or whatever and glued it together. I still have that actually.
It looks so good. Mauricio, do you have a picture of it? Did you already show the picture of the inside?
Yeah, the inside setup looks really cool too.
Did we? Did he show that? If not, it's fine. But so it's amazing. Like they killed it. The packaging, the whole philosophy behind it, just the whole, just the art direction in general. The idea to hit that VHS. It's weird that it's a 40th anniversary release the year after.
Yeah.
It's pretty obvious that some of these vault things were meant for last year.
Yeah.
And they just didn't get the side up in time.
Right. Yeah, I really love the packaging. I think it's cool.
There we go. Look at that. That's certainly so awesome.
With it, it's going to be one of 3,000. So that is what the limit will be at $40. And yeah, I think you're going to probably see something similar to likely the Hoth Battle Pack. I wouldn't be surprised to see this sell out relatively quickly just because of what Light Armor did. But then everybody that's buying it to resell is going to just be sitting on it.
Yeah, man, I have no clue now what these drops are going to be like now. That second drop shook me, and now I have no clue. I don't know. I mean, my guess is you need to be there early and refreshing, and if you want it, you're going to have to make sure you secure it, because who knows what people are going to latch on to and scalp or what the deal's going to be. But if it's something you want, I would jump on ASAP and be there early and try to grab it. So
does anybody know?
I do think this lasts a little longer.
Yeah, I would agree.
But I have no clue if it's up.
But to be honest,
10 minutes or 2 weeks,
to be honest, the people that got this Light Armor thing and they're trying to flip it are not flipping it for that much more than they paid. Actually selling it for that. There's a lot of people that have gotten it for like $100 with the eBay fees that you get hit with. If you sell it for $100 at shipping with free shipping, you're losing money at that cost. Because of the size of the box
at $80, tax.
With all the taxes, the eBay fees at 12.5% or whatever, plus you got to ship it, which is going to cost you at least $15. I mean, there's your entire profit margin.
$100 is breaking even on it, and maybe not even $100.
No, $100 is you're losing.
Yeah,
you'd have to sell it for probably $115 or more in order to be able to make anything, and you're making peanuts on that.
Yeah, Dave, I do think they were inspired by the those Micro Machines with that packaging specifically. I think they were inspired by those Micro Machines books that they did. You remember those 3 sets they did of like Jedi Search and
6 sets actually.
Dark Empire or whatever they were. They were the books, and they were very similar packaging, right?
Mm-hmm.
To that, I think that the VHS tape and those books were kind of the vibe they were going for with that release. And it's so cool. I've seen so many people mention how awesome it looks. Shout out to Olivia and Will. They always kill it. They do such a good job. And Max too. I think that was. I think he was integral in that design as well.
Nice,
but just killer work on that one.
Yep, it does look really good. It'd be interesting to see how those do, and what they do with the limits. So it'd be good to ask that question. I'll probably pop on Instagram and ask that, like, what's going to be the limit on how many you can get. I asked that previously for the initial sets, and they said 2. So it'd be interesting if they change that back to 2.
Which that was the go-to for all of them across the board. Week 1 was 2, so it was an easy answer because it was on the FAQ page.
Yeah,
So it'll
I feel like it should just stay at 2. Just keep it at 2 all the time and be totally fine with it.
Yeah, man, or 1. I don't know. We'll see how stuff goes, but
yeah, I think with this, you just
light
up the numbers.
For light armor, my gut is just always do 1. But
yeah, I mean, even if you did 2, you could do 2, but then do more than 1,500. Yeah, that solves the problem.
So I get your with it, including the chases and rares. I kind of get if they're staying within the bounds of however many. I get why that has to be limited.
Mm-hmm.
For these Vault exclusives, that's such an arbitrary number they're pulling out of thin air. Like, what sounds like something low? 3,000, I guess. Why? Yeah. Make it 5,000. Make it 6,000. You know, I don't... It's so weird to me they're picking such an arbitrary and low number for these.
Yeah.
We'll see. If it continues to have these issues where they sell out instantly, hopefully they do up production on them, you know, on down the road on some of these sets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I just hope a lot of this decisions weren't super reactionary after week 1. I think they need a decent sample size before they make any drastic changes.
Yeah,
to see how some of this stuff goes. And I don't think you can make the same changes across the board because not all these brands are equal. You know, what works for, you know, Call of Duty may not work for Star Wars. You know, I think there's some nuance to how they do these.
Yeah. So then we got one more reveal, which was our Battle of Carcoon. That's what it is?
That's right. Pre-order, a real pre-order.
Pre-order from Walmart.
Man, out of nowhere, too.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see whether or not this
PR
actually...
reach out about this coming out, so...
Yeah, I know that we heard about this a long time ago.
Ages ago.
About there being a 2-pack of these, which is the reason why I only got 1 skiff when it initially hit, the light armor one. So we're getting 2, and it's got the 4 figures, so each one's getting 2 figures. So you got Chewie, Boba Fett, Lando, and Luke. And so with the standard light armor class skiff, you get Han and the Nikto guard or whatever he is. And so you can complete them, which is great.
So cool. So cool. I love this.
It's a very cool one. This is going to be taking the place of the troop transport and the pod racer. This is part of the same packaging, same thing. Now, here's another one that was hinted at a long time ago, which would be a great 2-pack, would be Anakin's speeder and Zam Wesell's speeder. So that could potentially be coming. It's great to see that this is coming too, especially considering those troop transports sat around for so long. It was like, what's Walmart going to do? Are they going to drop that SKU or are they going to keep it?
Apparently, they're just going to take them at a snail's pace.
I guess so.
I think I legitimately think these were like supposed to be out in the first year.
Yeah, last year. I mean, this would have been Return of the Jedi 40th anniversary stuff.
I don't think. I mean, this is multiple years that this has been pitched to Walmart.
Yeah.
So they are moving at a snail's pace with these releases, which is unfortunate. Right. I think were it up to Jazzwares and their planning of these sets, they'd be doing like 3 or 4 of these each year instead of, which up until this point has been 1 per year.
Yeah.
I think they were hoping to do more like 3 a year. But I'm glad we're getting it. It's awesome. I love the stands. I love the additional deco.
Yeah.
The the micro figs are incredible. I love the Lando. There's so much detail on that one. I'm glad we're getting a Luke. We finally have a normal Boba Fett.
Mm-hmm.
Can you guess what people were nitpicking with this set?
No.
It's the wrong Luke, technically, but
it's the wrong Luke.
Yeah, it's Death Star Luke and not Tatooine Luke. He doesn't have the he doesn't have it. They reused the body from the Endor set. And they didn't do one with the gray Jedi robes over the black, which is what it should be.
Oh, gotcha.
So I did see some nitpicking of that, which is it's valid, I guess, but at the same time, you know, I guess companies are going to reuse what they can.
Yeah.
But Lando looks so good. It's such a cool set. I can't wait for this. I actually just opened my standard skiff today. I hadn't opened it yet, so I pulled it down and opened it, and I love it. So
it's pretty cool.
I just wish this was coming sooner.
I know. It says September. That's I was getting ready to say, with them clearancing out troop transport and the pod racers, that space on the shelf should be open here now. So it'd be interesting to see whether or not those actually come in, or whether or not they are still a pre-order that we have to wait until September. It seems silly.
I would love for these to come in early, but we'll see.
Yeah,
it's awesome. Did you? I assume you got a few of them.
Yeah, I got two. I got two of them to get free shipping.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And is it sold out? Did it sell out, or are they still up?
I have no idea. I haven't even checked. I feel like with Walmart, they'll just let you keep paying forever, and they'll never shut it off.
And then they'll cancel they'll let you keep buying them, and then they'll cancel the orders.
Right, or something like that. They'll do something silly. Still up.
Never going to find this listing on here.
Nice.
Why is stuff so hard to find on people's websites? Why is that not the featured product when you search Micro Galaxy on there, you know?
Dude, I'm in the same boat. I've been telling the company that I work for we should have that for some of the products that we offer. It's like, why is this so difficult to get to? I should just have a QR code that I scan that takes me directly to what it is that I want. And then I can just one click and buy it.
So it's still available.
Yeah.
I feel like Walmart is ordering so many of these things.
Yeah, they certainly seem like, let's just fill it up and then...
Now, the pod racers were better.
Yeah.
Those were better. Although I feel like the pod racers would do better on shelves now with the movie in theaters.
Right.
But whatever. Yeah, it's awesome. I love it. I wish it was shipping sooner, and I hope we see more of these packs. Didn't we? So it's interesting. The bongo. These are supposed to be $19.99 SKUs that Walmart is pricing up, and the bongo is $19.99.
Well, so these were supposed to be a $22.99 price point.
So what I'm saying is, I think the idea was that these were a $20 SKU, and Walmart decided to price them above that, like they did the Starship class, where they priced those at $33. I
don't think so. I'm pretty sure from when we were talking with Max a long time ago, he had said that Walmart has the exclusive rights for the $22.99 price point. And that's why they had the troop transport and the pod racers. So I wonder whether or not Target has scooped up a $20 one where they'll then be able to do something with that, with like the bongo type of a situation.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird price point.
It is. That's what I was thinking as well.
I mean, it seems to me like it was pitched as $20, and they just jacked it up a couple bucks, just because they wanted to set the SKU at that, like they've done with some of the other ones. Regardless, I hope we see more of these. I wonder whose affiliate link that is.
I don't know. It's a long link.
Yeah, I think it's an affiliate link. I hope we see more of these $20 or $22 SKUs out there. I love that we're getting something slightly bigger at Target as well. You know, I think that's a great like middle point for the size.
I know, it really is.
And you know, who knows what else they could do. I'm curious what the if we see a you know, it's another episode 1 thing like a Sith infiltrator or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious if that's a $30 or $20 ship.
I just hope that Target hasn't gotten burned by some of these big battle packs, these exclusive battle packs that they've gotten as well, where, I mean, that's what happened with light armor class. It seems like they got burned on that, so they just dropped it.
I mean, did you just order less? It's not hard. Right. Oh my goodness. It's not hard. You know, just order less. And that's across the board. Everything. I mean, I think Target is getting burned on all the collectibles right now, for the most part. Stuff is sitting at Walmart shelves, you know, so I don't think it's necessarily a
dinosaurs, man, everywhere.
Man, it's not dinosaurs, a Micro Galaxy problem. It's a toy industry problem right now, and retailers just over ordering everything. So you know, hopefully they figure out what the demand is for these and can hit a little closer to it.
Right. That's where I was saying, like,
I think people freaked out a little bit when they realized they were already on sale, but I do think that was totally unrelated and just happened to, you know.
Yeah. Well, with Series 5, it certainly seems like they've done that, and even Series 4, you know, it's like they pulled back on the number that they were ordering, and so when it's off the shelves, it's off the shelves. I mean, there's only 2 stores
that exclusives are like, they have not done that with exclusives yet. So the exclusives are what are still worrying me.
Oh yes, for sure.
I mean, with Walmart and Target,
right? That bongo's just gonna sit there, man. I mean,
I do hope this weekend and May the 4th and the sale and Phantom Menace being in theaters helps move some of that.
Yeah.
We'll see. Are you going to see it?
No. Although I might tomorrow. I've got to drop off with one of my kids, so I might take my other one, but probably not. I think if we went to a movie, she wouldn't be interested in seeing that. She want to go see something different.
Yeah, my wife said I couldn't take her toddler to see it yet, so.
Yeah, that's where like the only bad part in the entire movie is the very end.
I know, cutting people in half, stabbing people through the chest. I think she was a little.
They didn't even get him through the chest.
Super keen on that for a 3-year-old. So,
which again is crazy to me that Qui-Gon Jinn, it's a gut wound is what it is. It's like right below the sternum, and I'm pretty sure that if you were to have a hole put through your body right there, that you would not die as quickly as he died. That would be a
lot of vital organs there too.
Long and painful.
Well, now in Star Wars, anybody can get stabbed through the chest there and live. So
you can just heal them
Qui-Gon just didn't make it in time, I guess, for the medical advancements to catch up. You got Sabine running around now with a hole in her.
Yeah, I'll heal you up, and then. Oh, wait, you're going to die. I'll heal you. Oh, wait, but now I'm going to die. You heal me. Now you really die. What? What is happening? What?
Yeah, I mean, Maul was cut in half, so if they want to, you know.
That's very true. Although they really squandered that. They should have done something to keep him around, but anyway.
How many of these releases do you think we're going to get this year?
Of what?
Episode 1.
Well, that's
a good the Infiltrator's it? I mean, do you think we'll stop at an Infiltrator? Do you think we'll get a Naboo starship?
It's a good question. I would say probably
or a battle pack.
Probably the Sith Infiltrator. I hope we get a battle pack with some Vulture droids and the Naboo starfighters. I think that's an easy one where you could sell through some of those. I don't know, man. What do you think? you could probably do like the Gaian speeder or whatever it is, the green one.
The green one,
yeah,
or the little purple thing from Action Fleet. Remember that little purple speeder that Action Fleet had? It came with the like Theed streets.
Oh yes, yeah. That's the other. I don't even know what they call that. Naboo speeder, I think is what it's called.
I don't think any of the huge. I don't think any of the huge droid separatist vehicles would be candidates for this.
No, not that the MTT tank, the big round one. No way. I mean, that thing would be massive.
I don't think we're going to see anything like that. Really, the only thing I can think of is Infiltrator, and then potentially a starship-sized Naboo starship.
Yeah, but what one would you do?
Would even say? Do you think like a Royal Starship would even sell?
No.
I don't either.
I don't.
I mean, you
can't make it big enough. Everyone's going to be upset about the scale. You would have to have it almost.
It's got to be $30. I mean, it's got to be a Starship class, or it's
no way that you could do it then. The one thing that would be great, and this would be nice to know if like their licensing agreement started to include creatures, because you could definitely do some creatures. Like you could do a Gungan warrior on the little whatever the things are that they ride, or you could do like somewhat of a starship class Famba, which are the big things that have the big like dinosaur looking things. Like you could do that as a battle pack, but obviously if you don't have creatures, you can't do that. So
that really the only thing that's viable is the Infiltrator. I just don't know what else would sell.
Oh, you know what would be great? That could potentially, well, it's still gonna. It would be huge. Would be the Republic Cruiser, the red one at the very, very beginning of the movie. You could potentially do that as a starship class.
Are you talking about the thing with the little like nose, kind of the round thing of the nose?
The very beginning one that comes flying in.
Yeah.
I'll show you.
It's got the like round piece that sticks out the front.
Yeah, I think that's what you're talking about. It's this guy.
Show it to me the other way. Yeah. Just from the front. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. That big round thing.
Yeah.
That would be. I would buy that for sure. I don't know the scale.
Scale would be way off. Really? Even if you did it as a starship class, I mean, it's massive.
Yeah.
It's like a blockade runner is essentially what the size is.
Well, I mean. I don't know. I think that's about it. I love that we got the bongo because it's so weird. I hope it sells, but even the bongo is pretty specific.
Yeah.
You know, I think your two best sellers are definitely the N1 and the Sith Infiltrator, and then the Pod Racers, which we've already gotten. They would have been a great release for this year as well.
Yeah, I wonder what other vehicles.
What's funny is they really should have flipped those desert skiffs should have come out last year,
right?
When the Pod Racers came out for the 40th.
Yep.
And the Pod Racers should have come out this year for the 25th. I wish they had flipped those releases. They may have had slightly better sales. I don't know.
They could get other pods.
I don't know if they needed better sales or not, but that might have moved the needle a tiny bit.
Yeah. Let me see here.
I did see, so with all these desert skiffs out, a lot of people asking about the Katana.
The Katana?
Jabba's sail barge.
Oh, yes.
Do you think there's any way we get the sail barge?
I would say.
And what size do you think it is?
I would say Dreadnought class. Dreadnought class, Assault class is what I would imagine. Oh, the other one that we could get is the AAT tank re-released because it's in the correct colors.
Was it not correct the first time?
No. It's the original one that was released was from the Clone Wars cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
So you could get that released again, re-release. You could release that 15 different times because there's so many different colors to it. But yeah, here's this other green one. That one.
I don't know what is that even from? When did they ride that?
They ride it as they're coming into the meeting that's in like the forest when Amidala comes back.
Yeah, it's not gonna sell. I mean, not enough to, Target would not be happy with that, I don't think.
That would be the only other one that I would see on here. You could do the speeder, swoop speeder, Anakin on his swoop speeder. But yeah, I think the sail barge would be awesome. I think the sail barge, to be honest, would sell like crazy.
Yeah, everybody. Well, I mean, you've got so many people that missed out on the HasLab too. They're kind of sour about it. If you could get a sail barge that's a little more reasonable to
I mean, if you look at it relative to the skiff, it's not that much bigger than the skiff. It's bigger, but
it's smaller than the Ghost, right? So I mean, you could. I think it's a great candidate for Dreadnought. It doesn't need to do all the things that the ATTE does, engineering wise. It just needs the side to come off and have lots of detail inside. So I would love to see it as like an extra long Dreadnought release with no electronics.
Here's a picture of it with the
I want to say it's like 30 meters long. Is that right?
There's a picture of it with the skiff right next to it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can see it's not that much bigger than the skiff.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be 30 meters.
So what would that end up being at 183 scale is what they're trying to do.
And it's definitely going to be less for the larger ships get. Can you imagine if it came with Leia?
They can't do that anymore.
That's what they say, but
yeah,
it would be wild.
That would be wild.
That's the Vault exclusive one. Can come with Leia.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
You've got Jabba and Yak Face and Leia and like one more random guard, maybe.
Right. Although would Jabba be considered a creature? Because that could create a problem.
No, I mean he's a character. You've got to consider him a character, I think. But the question
you could always do him. You could do him in a blind box.
His Deus moves.
Yep.
But it only moves if someone's pulling it.
That's all right. It's a vehicle. It's technically a vehicle.
I hope they do that. I mean, I really hope it comes out. I think it would be amazing to.
It would be amazing.
I think it's great that you can have the skiffs and recreate that Sarlacc scene.
Yep.
But it's like beyond, it is absolutely next level if you had the katana behind it. So yeah, I would love that. So we'll see. I think Jabba with Salacious on him would be amazing, and then Leia, maybe Yak Face, and another Nikto or something,
Yeah,
or maybe one of the named guards that you see.
Yeah, Baraba or whatever the dice before the
Oshek
is a vehicle. That's right. That's right. We got to get it. There's got to be a Jabba at some point. You can't do Star Wars.
Storsher. What? So, I'm trying to think. Whatever the 3-packs that TVC has. That would be amazing. I hope they do that. I hope that's the next Dreadnought they do. I want that so badly.
That would be a really cool one.
Yeah,
that'd be a really cool one for sure.
Anything you can put Jabba in, just do it and sell it. It's gonna sell.
Yeah, and especially considering the size of the Ghost, Yeah, you could definitely do that and make it.
I think Ghost is 55, 54 meters, something like that.
Yeah.
Sure. So it should be significantly smaller than the Ghost. So, I think you're looking at 14 inches, maybe something like that.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, you're right. Bib Fortuna for sure.
Oh, Bib Fortuna, man, how do we
have Bib
about that?
Five characters came with the ATTE, and four or five characters. 4 characters came with the Falcon. Is that right? And
8.
We got 4 with the Ghost.
8 came with the AT-AT. Endor.
So there's a scenario where you could get 6 in there. I mean, the ATTE is actually...
Is the Rancor a vehicle? The Rancor is technically a vehicle. Although I do remember having that conversation a long time ago, and the Rancor is considered a creature, so they would not be able to make it. But if there was a scenario where they were able to do creatures, that was one of the first ones that was mentioned that they would want to do, is Boba Fett riding the Rancor.
There's so many creatures they could do. I hope
forever.
I think, again, brand manager Cole goes into the meeting with Lucasfilm, and we're going to extend our agreement. The 2 asks that I have are, we've got to add creatures, especially mounted creatures. Like, we've got to add mounts, essentially.
Yep.
And then play sets / dioramas. Those are the 2 things that I think the line is really missing. I know some people may say you should ask for the troop packs, or little troop builder battle packs, something like that. But if they're stuck somehow in this Tauntaun figure accessory thing, even going forward, I think those are the asks that you could get away with. Like, you've got to have play sets, and then you can add in creatures. That would be great, especially long term. I feel like you're going to have to bring in some kind of new ideas, new SKUs, new aspects of the world building with the line, just to keep it going and keep it fresh. So that's what I would try to get if any way possible. I know that is more expensive, but I think it'd be worth it. Especially, man, you put those big play sets on Vault or Shop Jazzwares and just sell them online, or make them Amazon exclusives, so they don't have to take up shelf space.
Right.
Man, I mean, those were some of my favorite parts of Action Fleet. You think about having a Yavin base or Echo base.
You
need to have Death Star.
If you did a Death Star hangar bay, you would need to have hangars for the TIE fighters. I know a guy.
I know. Mark mentioned that he created that Sarlacc file.
Yeah, with 3D printed head.
So I'm going to try to get with him and see if he can't give me that file so I can print that Sarlacc for those when those come out.
Cole, I know a guy who has a file for a Sarlacc pet.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it similar to the one Mark used?
It can be, yeah. Yeah. It comes in sections, so you got the whole like actual pit thing that goes down, and you print the teeth separate, and then you got you can either do it with the sphincter or you can do it with the head that pops up. So you can do either one. Interchangeable. If you need to know my guy, we can chat after.
Yeah, you got a sphincter guy. Let's see.
But yes,
is that news? Was that everything?
Yeah,
we've covered the news.
2 hours and 20 minutes into this daggone thing. I hope we covered everything.
Before we wrap up, I will ask. So I just got mine right before we started.
Okay.
and I looked at it really quickly one time.
Yep.
It's great.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. It's great. Looks amazing.
Yep.
The box, slightly too narrow, right?
Slightly too narrow.
Okay. I was wondering.
So I would say on both, they're like probably like 3 or 4 millimeters off in both of my boxes that I've got. The first order TIE fighter, the bottom left portion of it's bent because it doesn't fit in there perfectly.
Yeah, my first order TIE is pretty smashed on that one sword. The box, they do not fit at all.
They don't fit.
Okay.
Nope.
I was curious. That was
same thing with it fitting inside of the outer packaging. This one as well. It's like, again, it's like 2 or 3 millimeters too narrow. They needed to widen it because when you put this thing in here and you close it, like you should be able to close the side and it doesn't fold up like that. But because it's so tight in there,
just barely does it right. Yeah. So all of the, I guess whoever was.
They also, you notice the vehicle on the side here
is not the it's not the first order TIE, it's the special forces TIE.
Yeah, it's a starfighter vehicle, not a light armor class one. Oops.
Whoops.
That's that one.
Yeah, not a big deal to me. Not like the ship's actually fitting in the package.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Man, what a bummer. I'm just glad that if it had to be one that was not fitting and smashed, it was the first order ship and not like a chase.
Here, Damon, I'll show you the droid deco update. I've got my review is literally sitting here. I'm gonna try to finalize that tomorrow morning because after this I'm going straight to bed. But take this thing out.
So did we see and so from what I've seen, everyone's is updated. I have not seen one of these sets with the old style droid.
Yeah, correct. So there's the top of the head. Was
yours stamped November of last year?
This one says November. Yeah, November 6th.
On your ship?
There it is with the
Mine did
head.
as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So they were rerunning these. I mean, I guess they didn't hit their target production run already when they first shipped the Series 3.
And there's Plo Koons. The droids look significantly better with the paneling on the top of them.
What's funny is how much detail is in Chopper versus these astromechs.
Yeah, they just get the 2 little pieces of paint on. Yeah, I can't believe they messed that up with I think what they probably did when they measured the box is they didn't measure it with the flap folded over.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because that cuts it off by just enough. Again, it's probably 2 or 3 millimeters off.
Yeah, R2 and R4 are also updated, correct?
Yes, they're all updated.
Which
that's really it.
Any of those after like May of last year or something like any of those after August of last year should be updated.
Yeah, there really isn't anything else in here that is significantly different. I did kind of like a once over yesterday as I was looking at it to see if there was anything. I'm gonna open up the chases and the Ayla and Plo to have the ones with the updated deco on the thing, on the droid. So I'll look at it more in depth to see if there's any differences, but it doesn't seem like there are any differences as I'm looking at it from the outside.
It definitely does not seem like they pulled from pre-existing stock. I think they ran 1,500 of these off the line.
Yeah. Right.
For the set. Because I've not heard of anyone finding an updated Ayla.
Dude, I got to tell you this. Last night I had this wicked nightmare. So I had a nightmare that, because I didn't open this one. I opened this one literally right before we started tonight. I had a nightmare that I opened this up and it had a bunch of random vehicles in it. It wasn't actually the light armor class ones. And then I also had a nightmare, because I'm 3D printing something. I had a nightmare that my 3D printer, I had files that were saved that were off of the build plate. Mm-hmm. And this would never happen, but it was like it printed and then it lifted up and it moved and it printed again and it broke the screen on my 3D printer. And I woke up in the morning and I was like, oh my God, like what a horrible nightmare. So I was going to open this thing up this morning, but I was too busy getting the kids out the door, so I didn't get a chance to do it.
I don't think I've had any Micro Galaxy dreams in a while, other than finding a few weeks ago. I had the one about finding a bunch of those Royal Guard interceptors at a Walmart.
Oh, you did?
Just a dream. Did not. I actually went out the next day and was like, maybe this was a sign. I should go check all my Walmarts. And no, I wasted a ton of gas and half a day. It was not a sign. It was just a dream. Unfortunately, I guess maybe I'll have a shot at one when Vault comes around.
Right.
Still haven't found any.
You still haven't found any of the Royal Guards?
No. Haven't even seen Series 4 light armor at all in this area.
Mm-hmm. Man, that's
for whatever reason. I don't know.
That's a bummer, man.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is lately with us getting stuff. It's the whole area's been pretty dry. We were some of the last ones to get Series 5. And I don't believe there's been almost any Series 4 light armor around here.
Yeah. I have seen some of the stuff that's popped up has sold super fast. So like the Series 4 stuff, even the Series 3 light armor stuff that popped up in my area, all of it sold quickly. Like all the interceptors and Plo Koons and all of that stuff. I think I saw maybe 1 or 2 Obi-Wan interceptors ever. And there was maybe 2 Anakin interceptors that just sat there for a little while, but they did end up selling. But yeah, it'd be nice to be able to see the Landspeeder and Biggs show up more so that we get a chance to get them
in the States.
Yep. Well,
one day, only Vault can save us.
Well, only Vault can save maybe a third of us, or maybe 500 of us.
It can save everyone on this stream right now.
It could definitely save everybody on this stream multiple times over.
It is late. Anyone who's still around.
Yeah, thanks for hanging with us this long. It is late. My cat has been pawing at the door here for like multiple times now over the past 2.5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
She wants to come in because every time I come down to the office, she knows that I'll sit in this chair and she hops up in my lap and I pet her. Yep. And so it's like, I've got my own thing to do right now, cat. You can stay outside for right now. So.
Yeah, I don't think Vault was quite what we thought it was going to be, Dave. I agree with that.
Yeah, I don't think, and when I initially heard of it and what they were going to be doing, and they were not going to be doing a premium membership, I was kind of like, I'm not really holding out a whole lot of hope as this being something that's going to be a savior, especially when it was mentioned that there was going to be a limit.
Well, we also didn't know until very recently that it was going to be only, like, in addition to Shop Jazzwares. I think the thinking was this was going to replace, Shop Jazzwares would become the Vault.
Gotcha.
And that is where they sold all their product and had whatever exclusives.
I was not
when they showed off those limited sets and exclusives at Comic-Con. I think the idea was like, oh, cool, they're going to have some of those on there too. I don't think anybody really ever realized that Vault was only going to be those limited drops of exclusives.
Right.
So yeah, I would agree. It's not quite the savior we were hoping for. And Shop Jazzwares really hasn't added that much I think they sold on a Y-Wings I saw, but it's been mostly Series 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, do they
have
a?
They don't
They don't have a bomber on there, do they? They don't have a TIE bomber on there, do they?
No.
I need it.
And again, like, why is that not?
I really want to get another
everywhere. I'm so curious why you can't get that.
I would agree with you.
I just don't like that. That should be it. You know, I'm running Vault. I'm like, put them on Vault. Put them on Shop Jazzwares. People want these, and if we can't get them in retail shelves for whatever reason, get them on the website so people can buy them, and people will stop paying $50 for them on eBay.
Yeah, but they don't care about that.
Well, they don't care about that, but if they could run it and make the money themselves, you know, from their website, they're already selling some items on there. I'm like, why can't you get the commons, you know, the Vulture droid? Like, why do they not have the Vulture droid and the TIE bomber on that site?
Especially considering the cost, because they had to go through and retool the whole thing so that they could add those 2 extra sets of wings.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, that makes no sense to me that they didn't run, you know, 25,000 of those and they're on Vault on Shop Jazzwares.
Well, I wonder if they did, but they're stuck somewhere in a warehouse.
Who knows, man? There's no way to know what's happening with this stuff.
I like the conjecture, though.
No way to know. Who knows? It's probably wilder than we even know.
Let's just make a choice on what we think is happening, and then we'll just tell everybody that's what's actually happening, and then everybody will start to believe it, and then Jazzwares will say, you need to get all the stuff out of the thing, and then everybody will get really upset, and then everybody will start selling off their collections, and we'll have less collectors getting it, so all of us that are on here that really want to get this stuff can actually get it, and we don't have to worry about everybody else.
Yeah, I'm just into buying whole collections now.
Oh, man. Nope, I'm with you, man. Well, we're at 2 hours and 30 minutes. My eyes are like shutting on me right now.
I forgot water tonight, so
yeah,
I'm ready.
Yep. Thanks, Wes. I appreciate that. That is a great plan. I'm going to try and work on that. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in. There was a lot that we covered here tonight, so keep an eye on the pages as we have more updates on Cole's Micro Galaxy page as well as Instagram page. It's got tons of stuff that pops up way faster than I ever get to it. So keep an eye out for that. And
yeah, set notifications and man, be there early on Monday.
Yep. For sure.
If you want that set, be there early on Monday. Go see Phantom Menace.
Go see Phantom Menace. That's right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Good evening. We will see you next time.